Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy TNL, and today we are talking about a quote that I really like, and I feel like there's a reason why it's lasted so long and it's had such a great meaning behind it. The quote I'm speaking of is, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Because when life gets extremely heavy, it's it's rarely the difficulty that breaks the people down. It's the lack of meaning behind it. Most people don't quit because things get hard, right? They quit because they don't know why they're doing any of it. The quote necessarily isn't about being tough, being a tough guy or whatever. It's not about pushing through pain for the sake of suffering, but it's more so about the direction. And when you have a clear why for your direction, effort feels more purposeful. It feels, you know, more like it has a meaning. Discomfort will feel more temporary. Struggle will feel more survivable than maybe it previously would have. But when you don't, even small obstacles can feel unbearable. The same type of work you're doing, the same type of stress you may be receiving, the same type of pressure that you may have on your shoulders. One person grows stronger and another one will collapse. And the difference between them isn't strength, but it's their meaning for the things that they do. I feel like why so many people feel burnt out is a lot of people think that they're lazy, but in reality, they're not. They're just exhausted from doing things that don't feel connected to anything that matters to them strictly. They wake up maybe tired, but not because they work too hard, but because their effort feels disconnected from their purpose. So when your why is unclear and your discipline feels forced and your motivation will disappear and life will start feeling more so like an obligation instead of a direction that you're heading in. It's not a character flaw, but it's a missing anchor. The difference between pain with meaning and pain without it is pain without it feels like punishment. And pain with meaning, it feels like you're training for something. It feels like you're moving towards something, you're building towards something. Think about it. You'll endure long hours of something, a lot of discomfort, a lot of sacrifice. If you believe it's building something that truly matters, then it doesn't feel like that. It feels like something different. You feel like you have a purpose for what you're doing, what you're striving for. But the same discomfort feels unbearable when it feels way more pointless, Like when you feel like, what's the point? Like, what's the direction this is even taking me in? Your mind needs a reason to stay in the fight. Without it, resistance will strictly just turn into resentment. So, why do people chase comfort instead of meaning? Because in my mind, comfort is easier to explain. Meaning requires honesty. Finding your why requires you, to ask what actually matters to me. What kind of life am I building for myself and maybe my future family? What am I willing to struggle for? Those are the questions that are very uncomfortable. So people tend to avoid them. They numb themselves, they distract themselves, they chase surface level goals that may not really get them to somewhere further. But not because they don't care, but it's mainly because they don't know where to aim their gun. As a metaphorical gun. They don't know where to aim their gun. So they're kind of just shooting it, just hip firing, just pointlessly. So your why doesn't have to be a grand thing. It doesn't have to be insane. Here's something very important I'm going to tell you. Your why doesn't have to be extremely dramatic, but it, it doesn't have to be changing the world. It doesn't have to be becoming famous. It doesn't have to be achieving perfection in a certain craft. It can be becoming somebody that you strictly just respect, building stability for your life, creating peace, providing or proving yourself that you don't quit. A real why feels personal, very silent, very quiet, very grounded. And once you find it, hard days stop feeling meaningless in the whole tornado of life that we're in. So, how do you start finding your why without feeling so much pressure on your shoulders? Don't ask, what's my purpose? Because that can be so many things. It can be so broad of a term for you, for anyone. Just ask yourself, what drains me? What takes my energy away? What feels worth the effort in my days? What kind of pain am I willing to endure? Because your why reveals itself through what you're willing to suffer for. Pay attention to that, please. Meaning isn't found in thought alone. It's uncovered through action and reflection in things. If life feels very heavy to you right now, it doesn't mean that you're weak and you can't carry that weight. It just usually means you're carrying weight without knowing why you're carrying it. And once you can reconnect with meaning and not motivation, not hype, but just meaning, strict meaning, you become far more resilient than you expect. Because when the why is clear, the how stops feeling impossible. Thank you for listening, though. I appreciate y'all. It's TNL.